Hi. So it has come to my awareness. I think this week is National Eating Disorders Awareness Week. And asked me if I'm doing anything for it. Nope. I used to actually be a big participant in, being an advocate for Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and there's Eating Disorder Awareness Day and stuff. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many. Every day is a something awareness day, and I think that that people, in terms of social media and things like that, are in such a point of overwhelm with it all that I just don't. I feel like we're just talking to each other, and it's a complete echo chamber. And I'm not saying it's not worthwhile. That's just why I don't really do anything special anymore, because I think actually more than anything, it just gets lost in this whole big noise. So sorry, I'm not doing anything special for Eating Disorders Awareness Week. I do something special every day. Well, not every day. Maybe 3 times a week. Come on YouTube. Anyway, all right. Accidental Hero. Interesting name. Hi, Tabitha. Any suggestions about why I don't actually want to recover? If I was truly ill, sure it would be better. Well, you're saying that, I mean, for a long time, I didn't want to recover. You're saying I wasn't truly ill. What's that? What the fuck has that got to do with being ill or not, wanting to recover or not? Some people are ill and they want to recover. Some people are ill and they don't want to recover. I don't really understand the question. Hello, Tabitha. I just wanted to say thank you. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to read that one. Sophie Carter. Hey, I'm just wondering what you would recommend for people who don't want to have regular hormones. Interesting question. Sophie, I feel like you need to elaborate a little bit that, like, you need to give me a bit more. Can you give me a bit more? Because it could be, I might have a different opinion if I knew why. When you say people who don't want to have regular hormones, is that a gender identity thing? If it is, then that needs to be seen. You need to talk to somebody who can help you with that portion of things. Having an eating disorder is not going to be a healthy way to work through that stuff, is it? And I actually know plenty of really good therapists that work on that stuff. If we get Sophie, gender dysmorphic people, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually have a fair amount of experience with people with gender dysmorphia or trans people who want to use their eating disorder to not have boobs or not have hormones. Or one thing, I actually had a couple of doctors and some therapy type people try and project that on me, being like, well, is it because you don't want to be a girl? And for me, it wasn't anything to do with that. Some people, certainly. But that's not an unresolvable problem. You just need to be able to work with a therapist or a treatment provider or any medical person that has experience in helping you through that stuff, like working out what the right course of action for you is, because there is a course of action. There's actually quite a lot of options. And starving yourself is just, it's not going to work out. It's not a long-term plan. It might feel like a short-term solution to something that is painful to you or feels like you just need to work out right now. It's not a long-term plan. You need to work with somebody that can actually help you work out what the long-term plan to resolving that problem is. And immediately, you have to start not having an eating disorder, because that's just not going to help you do anything, and it's not going to get you anywhere, and it's not going to resolve any of those problems. It really isn't. It's just probably going to make them worse, because you'll just get more fucked up here. Because eating disorders do that. They fuck us up here. I was going to give up swearing for Lent. I'm not religious. I just thought it would be a good challenge. Hi, Tabitha. What do you think of the Maudsley recovery method? All control taken away from the patient. It's a bit different, though, Roxana, because Maudsley really is mostly for children. So when you're a child, you don't have a ton of control over everything anyway. And so it's not like it's removing control from the patient. And I actually think that, say if somebody's very young, so when we're adults and we've got eating disorders, the neural rewiring aspect of it comes because we've been in energy deficit and we've been having an eating disorder for a long enough time for neural pathways to have been formed. Now, if someone's a kid and they just start having an eating disorder, if that's caught early enough, before neural pathways have really formed, actually just getting them out of energy deficit, nutritional rehabilitation alone can get them fully recovered. So if someone's a kid, their parents catch their eating disorder within the first couple of months, neural pathways haven't formed, actually, all you need to do is get that kid out of energy deficit, anorexia or eating disorder switch turns off. And because neural pathways haven't been formed, you don't have to rewire all that stuff like us adults and older people do. And older people meaning like older teens or anybody that's had an eating disorder more than a couple of months. And so if you think about it from that point of view, that's a great method. If someone is young enough that their parents are still in control, parents notice a problem, parents notice kids are losing weight, not eating, take control, shovel food in them, get them out of energy deficit. And a lot of kids really do go on and be happy ever after that. Now, the problem, and when that doesn't work so well, is when somebody's had an eating disorder long enough for neural pathways to have formed. Because then you get them out of energy deficit and the neural pathways are still formed and they have fear of weight gain and they have all of these different beliefs that have started to form based on the actions that they've been performing. And that's when it's much more difficult than nutritional rehabilitation alone. I don't know if that answers your question. Oh, Sophie's more, and I want to get back to this because, as in not eating enough so they didn't receive the testosterone that would do irreversible changes to your body as a short-term solution until hormone blockers. I'm sorry, I don't understand. It's too difficult with these short messages, Sophie. And that's out of context for me. All right, so Winnie, I'm going to start at the top for you, Winnie. My boyfriend recently told me that I'm putting on weight, but it's good and I look healthy. And this has really triggered me and I feel as if a triggering relapse. What should I do? And then later on when he's written, like, why his comments even about my weight gain, although he meant them positive, making me feel so upset. He used to have anorexia, so I feel like he should know better than to comment on that, even positively. I don't know, you're going to have to ask him. If I'm sure that the poor guy is just trying to be nice and trying to be like, you look great, sweetheart. I'm sure I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's what's going on. But you're going to have to talk to him, Winnie. And if you don't like him commenting on your weight, you're going to have to say, sweetheart, no comments on the weight. Shut up. And I'm sure he will. Well, I hope he will. Hi, Olivia. Okay, so is it possible to lose weight after recovering your weight to past your original weight? I'm less confident now that I'm heavier and this will help you go back to my original weight. Is it possible to lose weight after recovering your weight to past your original weight? I'm less confident now that I'm heavier and it will help me. Well, so this is a really tricky space to be in. What you have to work on is, well, you just said confident because I'm heavier. So you have to work out why you're less confident when you're heavier. Oh, it's because you have all of these judgments around your own body shape. And that's actually what you need to work on. Your body's doing just fine. Don't try and change your body. That means you would restrict food, doesn't it? And you can't be recovered from restrictive eating disorder and restricting food. So what you need to focus on is when those thoughts around, I hope I just lose weight. When that comes around, that's what you actually have to focus on, understanding that thought is a symptom of this judgment that your brain still has around weight gain and around your body. And that is a symptom of fear of weight gain. That belief system has still not been rewired yet. So you need to focus on fully rewiring that fear of weight gain belief system that you have. Have a look at what you do. Have a look at the way that you are around food and the way that you're eating and all the movement and all these things. Have a look at things and see, what am I still doing that is leading my brain to believe that weight gain is a bad thing or the weight loss is a good thing? What am I still doing? How am I still acting that's leading my brain to believe that there's anything wrong with being in a heavier body? And yeah, we live in a culture that's obsessed with thinness, but you got to shut all that out. And most of us, in order to recover, have to work out how to shuttle that out anyway. But actually really have a look at what actions am I doing that might be still leading my brain to conclude that there's something wrong with my body? What thoughts am I paying attention to that might still lead my brain to conclude that there's something wrong with my body? Because that's the rewiring piece that from you having said that would say to me that that bit is still not completely rewired. And it's super important to fully rewire that in order to fully recover. Sophie's back, and I do want to finish off with Sophie. Sorry, I meant being at a lower weight so that you don't go through puberty as a temporary solution until you could be put on hormone blockers, as there's a waiting list on them. Is there? Shit, that's, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know there was a waiting list for those things as well. All right, so I get it, but I don't think it is I don't think, all right, so I get that right now you're kind of like, this is a temporary solution and it feels like a solution. I don't feel that the benefits, and this is just me, I'm not you, but from my point of view and knowing about eating disorders, I feel it might feel like a solution, but I feel that the costs of taking restriction and starving your body as a solution far outweigh any short-term benefits that there could be there, Sophie. And I know it feels so tempting, because if you have an eating disorder, it's like I could also not gain weight, which feels massively attractive. But this is what recovery is not allowing that seduction of any reason to restrict food, lose weight, or anything like that. And I'm not trying to devalue your reasoning there, why it feels like it could be more justifiable in your situation. I don't want to devalue that. But I do want to tell you that, sure, but an eating disorder is not something that you can just then drop. If you get into energy deficit because you were suppressing your weight for another means, whatever it was, and you're thinking this could just be a short-term thing, it's not going to be a short-term thing, because then you'll come up on the wait list, and it's not like you can just drop that, because you'll be so far down that rabbit hole by then, you're not going to be able to come up. And nobody's happy when they have an eating disorder, right? So it'll probably fuck up another 10 years of your life if you continue to restrict food or take that route. So just, that's why I'm saying, like, it's just, I can't think of any reason really why doing that to your body, doing that to yourself, doing that to your life, because eating disorders are a pain in the ass to recover from. I don't think it justifies it. And I think that you need to find somebody to talk to and tell them, this is how desperate I am for this right now. And if that person says, well, you're on the list and we can't do anything, go and find someone else. Like, I really want you to advocate for yourself and push for what would be the correct solution, rather than sort of like, I'm going to take matters into my own hand and starve my body. It's just long-term going to fuck you over. Oh, fuck it. I'm trying not to swear for Lent. Right, I'm taking this seriously now. I'm not going to swear anymore. I can do one more. Oh, is it possible to grow after weight restoration even in your 20s? I was 23 and I think anything's possible. I'm sure that some people do grow in their 20s. I don't actually know the answer to that question, but I do think anything's possible. Bodies are incredible, amazing things. My sister had a baby last week, and I'm just like, your body just did that. The baby came out. There's still, anytime somebody gives birth, it just blows my mind. That's insane. That's insane. You can't make this shit up. Oh, I'm not supposed to be swearing, but you can't make this stuff up. It's insane what our bodies can do. So maybe your body can grow another couple of inches. Let's hope so, if that's what you want. Okay, guys, I've got to go. Bye.